Good morning, everybody. A live shot of Toronto. Umbrellas are open, but it's not going to rain on our parade. It's a beautiful day because it's the first day of spring. Everyone's got a little spring in their step today.
Why not? And we got a little spring in our step, too, because you know what it's time for? It's time for our 2 cents. So this is where we get viewer comments sent in to us, and then we'll try to react and see what we have to say. Maybe we can help some people out.
And it's called our 2 cents because that's what our advice is worth. Where do we begin, Tim? Who's up first?
Just wait and see. Okay, we got a viewer question from Emily in Toronto. And this is a very Toronto thing, or a big city thing. Hey, guys, I need some advice before this turns into an all-out neighbor war. There's a street parking spot in front of my house, and my neighbor parks there every single day like it's their personal driveway. But it's a public street parking. So technically anyone can use it. But now it feels like an unspoken rule that that is theirs. Am I a bad person if I start parking there instead? Do they have any kind of right, Dina, just because they use it all the time?
Emily, I feel your pain. For 10 years, I lived in a house with no garage, no driveway, and the struggle to find parking, it's becoming harder and harder in big cities. And this was the situation because I was going in and out all the time, all day, whereas other people who lived on the street weren't, and it was deemed their spot in front of their house. But it's public parking. Whoever gets it, gets it. Sometimes it would be those, communado cars, and they'd be there for days until somebody else gets one. It's finders, keepers. Whoever gets it first gets it. You have to park wherever there's parking.
Let alone like a big winter storm. You know what I mean?
Oh, like with the snowbanks.
Like this year in Toronto with the winter storms, then that gets rid of all of a bunch of parking spots. And where do you put all the snow? And then there was a delay on getting that snow.
But you don't want tension with your neighbor. I get it. So just be super nice to your neighbor. Be there for your neighbor. Smile at them. Help them if you can help them in any way so they see you're a nice person. And that's that. Park there, Emily. You got to park somewhere.
Because that's the thing. You got to, they're your neighbors. You're going to be seeing them all the time. You don't want those neighbor wars.
If everybody did that, then people are going to be left without parking any time, right? Depending. So here we go. We've got Mark in Ottawa. Good morning, Mark, who asks, my family just got an invite to a kid's birthday party, and at the bottom it said, $20 per child to cover activities and food. I've never seen this before. Aren't hosts supposed to cover the cost of their own party? I get the parties can be expensive, but is charging an entry fee normal now? Or is this totally out of line? Should I just pay up, or do I politely decline?
I say this is a little tricky on a couple of points. So young Gabriel turned 9 recently, and we're actually having his birthday party this weekend at like a jump park, one of those trampoline parks that he's really looking forward to.
Feed them sugar, let them expend the
you know what I mean? And you bring in 10 people. You get 10 people. So his sisters are coming, and then a bunch of his friends. We're covering the cost for that because we're inviting them. Now, I understand these birthday parties, they're not cheap. You know what I mean? They get a little expensive. So maybe not everybody can afford these parties. So I can understand if some people maybe need a little help paying for the parties, because not that you want to compete, but it is competitive a little bit because you want to show your kid a good time, but you want to make sure that everybody can be involved. So what I would say, Mark, is I would just politely pay up.
Yeah.
To be totally honest, it's $20. You know what I mean? And going forward.
I'm not a parent, I would say the same. If they were asking for $200 because they choose like a 5-star restaurant because they want the kids trying Wagyu beef for the first time, that's another thing. You can opt out.
Or maybe you can maybe not get as an expensive of a present. You know, they take away from the present a little bit.
But $20 is doable. Yeah. Maybe it should be that in lieu of presents. I don't know.
Let's go to Winnipeg. Rachel. Okay. Hey, Rachel. Thanks for helping us out with your 2 cents. And she needs to know, hey, guys, I got called out at a party for double dipping, and now I need to know, am I really the monster here? I took a chip. It was like Seinfeld right here. Dipped, took a bite, and then went back in for a second dip.
Repeat offender.
But only on the other side of the chip. This is the key.
Oh, she flipped the chip before she double dipped.
There we go. My friend says that it's still disgusting, but I think that's the loophole. Is double dipping ever okay, or should I just stick to just the single dips for life?
You know what? Remember in COVID when we couldn't even have any dips together at all? So I'm just like, thank goodness we're talking about this again. But if she flipped it, if I saw her flip it, I'd feel like that's okay. What do you say?
I think torn. It's fine. I don't understand the double dipping, but I understand why people are upset by it.
Yes, because there's saliva's on it, and then it goes into the communal dip.
Yeah, but the flip of the chip.
But so Devo's worried that.
Okay.
Devo, come on in.
Get in here.
You have a bright spot coming up.
Okay.
Devo's got a solution for you. Okay.
Just break the chip in half.
To Rachel, break the chip in half.
Break the chip in half, and then you can do one dip with one half, and another dip with the other half.
But what's the difference between break it in
Because
half
your
and let's
saliva has already touched that chip.
Not the other side of the chip.
Yeah, but how big is the
don't
chip?
know.
It's not
It's
the
a
chip
big
isn't
chip.
this big.
It's a
Yeah.
big chip.
It's a little chip, and then your mouth is.
No.
Okay, I'll tell you what, though, guys. Keep them coming. We couldn't get them to them all. We hope it helped.
Yeah.
Feedback at breakfasttelevision.ca. Send us your questions because this is an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Our 2 cents.
There you
That's
go.
good. I like
there we
your
go.
2
Yeah, it's great.
cents.
I like it
Fabulous
too.
questions.
Good advice.
Let's keep it
We're
going.